Welcome back, comrades. It seems that the revolution was a great failure and we killed many people in the streets. For now, the mighty Kalashnikov remains a Soviet bloc, and I have done my part to secure my country's future. With that in mind, we now have the dial-up connection set back up and the country back have the internet. So now I can bring you part 2 of the Perico Heist with Das Komrades. In the last video, you joined us in the Perico Heist when we stole Ray Warren's ring from El Rubio. We will take the Hall of Fame ring back to Ray Warren and then he will give us money in sports bet, which we can then use on horse bets or deciding which faction will take over a country. But now let's get back to making our silent getaway. We are as quiet as bulldozers in a china shop, and we make our getaway now with the grappling hook that Chicken left behind during her drunken escapades. Scaling walls. This reminds me of last week when I took down insurrection to our country. Well, it feels good to be on the other side of the wall and outside the compound. This must be how Prince Harry and Princess Meghan feel. And now comes the part where we patiently wait for a boat to pass us by. To help in passing the time, we try to push Chicken over the cliff. But she is too smart for this. You know, we have famous joke back in Kalashnikov about the chicken crossing the road, and it goes like this. Why did the chicken cross the road? To which you respond, why do you watch chicken? If you have such time, you must use it for your country. Now start pressing those bullets. Eventually, a boat does come past, and all of us proceed to shoot at it in a method that would make Dick Cheney even proud. Now it is time for Das Komrades to get into the water boat. However, Berkey and Slant decide to have opposing oppositions and try to fight over who will be captain. This may be pretty funny for the outside. It is kind of reminding me of my country's political system where one day to the next there can be a new political leader. After all, we do have the fastest revolving door for dictators in the world. I think this is why CIA leave us alone, because we effectively remove our own dictators before they can do anything. It reminded me when dictator took over a couple of years ago, he demanded every house turn red in paint. And then another dictator took over and they said make all houses blue. Then the same dictator took over again and demanded houses be turned back to red. But because of the red paint shortage, we had to improvise and use some goats. Well, enough about the goat shortage of 2007, we get back to the heist now. And we are nearly at the home stretch now. We decide to go get some more items to steal. So we head to the airfield to go steal some weed and cash. I find it very amusing that capitalist countries actually have outlawed certain drugs. Here in the country of Kalashnikov, all drugs are actually legal. Not only that, but sometimes some of them are mandatory, such as methamphetamine, so you can do a 20-hour workday. Hey, it's for the glory of our country, Kalashnikov. A fun fact here, but this is the first person I dropped during the Perico Heist. Look at that expert shooting, fantastic. And now we must enter the hangar to get the drugs and the money. Would you look at that, the glorious forklift has returned for its appearance in the video. While not as majestic as the flying forklift from previous video, still quite a majestic sight to behold. And now with my loot bag full of gold and weed, it is time to focus our attention on getting the forklift to the second floor so we can fill up everyone else's loot bag. And of course it wouldn't be Das Komrades if we didn't do a little bit of dancing and a bit of fun celebrations towards the end of the mission that is a success. Of course, I do like any other modern kid these days, take out my phone for a selfie to get on the social medias. That way I get the Instagram likes and the Instagram babes come to me. Of course, Berkey and Slant then have a disagreement again over who should be the captain of the forklift. And of course, mayhem follows. But enough of this, it is time to get Ray Warren's ring back to him. We must first check to see if the coast is clear. And I asked Comrade Chicken to come help me spot any enemies. Unfortunately, we did not know the enemy within, and Berkey, he has been left unattended with the forklift. I once saw something like this with Husqvarna. Yeah, very interesting time. But we must make a break for it nonetheless. Oh, what's this? A Jeep? Oh, I'm gonna drive this. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking everyone want to drive. They're going to pull out each other again and do the same joke again and again. Well, just for some change, we won't do it this time. No, this time Slant puts on his captain hat and decides to go driving in the forest. No, this time the joke is that the Jeep is a 3-seater and we have 4 people for the heist. So, one of us has to walk, and of course it's going to be... oh shit, it's gonna be me. But it's not like Berkey to take passenger seat. No, he have to knock out Slant too, then proceed to get out of the area. I don't know if you can hear my pet parrot in the background, but she really sounds like a... oh, how do you Yanks say it? It's not Kazakhstan, oh, Karen, that's right. Sorry, it's very hard to look after tropical birds when you live in a very cold climate, but you know, you had to have expensive things to make it look like you're famous. I mean, I bought the bird a used uranium core from an old nuclear submarine, and just to keep it warm during those cold months, you know, but she still complains and sometimes loses all of her feathers. I mean, I trust this guy and what he says. I mean, he sold my friend a drug-sniffing bear, and I tell you, when you have a drug-sniffing bear, it is very easy to get any drugs from anyone. The hardest part about having a bear, of course, is the social part of it. You can't take it to party because it might rip someone's arm off, you never know. And here I am avoiding this flying Jeep. In any normal heist, you would just simply get the items and leave. But we like to push the boundary and see what we can do before getting caught. And before we leave the island, I try to give the Jeep a little bit of a wash, just to keep it clean. This no work very good. And Slant, knowing full well I can barely swim, helps me out. A little bit too over-enthusiastically though, nearly killing me. But we get back on the boat, and for one good measure, Berkey pulls Slant back off to become the captain again. And of course, Das Komrades are riding off into the sunset in the middle of enemies, of course, to escape from the island with a successful heist. V will bring the ring of Ray Warren to him, and he will give us vast sums of money for our accounts on sports bets, and I will use it very wisely. Put it on horse with funny name. Oh, they will tell stories of how we threw grenades at the sun while sipping on vodka, because today we are heroes. And of course the government will make 60-foot statues of us from bronze, and many years later the public can then tear them down for the terrible things that we may or may not have done. Ah, look at the return of the heroes. They are so glorious. And they give Ray Warren's ring back, and of course the envelope containing all gift cards to Sportsbet. And of course the medal section. As bronze is the highest grade metal that we can mine, it is the best one, so I am the best. Ah, wunderbar. Time to get a drink on with Das Komrades for the celebration of this heist. The completion of it was quite fun in the end. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Das Komrades and their adventures on Oceans 47. The episode was quite fun. We plan to make a few more. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out some of the other videos I have made.